Dear George Russell, please refrain from using our cars as a break in future. Sincerely, Haas. Hello? Courier? Courier who? Oh, Juan Manuel, how are you, mate? Well, of course you're a valued member of our team. Yeah, I know your contract is up, mate. We're just assessing our options right now. What options are we assessing? If literally any other American driver is eligible. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to Kicking Haas. Today it is the Japanese Grand Prix, and after Logan Sargeant's, I'm going to say spectacular drive in Singapore, got him 2 points, and K-Mag, of course, being rear-ended by George Russell when we were on, I think, for big points with him. I'm hopeful for today's race, although Singapore is a very different track to Japan. It could not probably be any more different in terms of the flow and the corner speeds and things like that. But we're currently sitting sixth, a relatively safe and solid sixth, I'd say, right now, which is what the season objective was. The Drivers' Championship, K-Mag is in all likelihood going to finish in the top 10. It would be nice to see if we can push him up closer to Alonso and Bottas, but that's maybe a little bit of a big ask. And Sargeant is down there in 15th. I don't know if he's going to go any higher than that, but let's try and keep Tsunoda behind us and make sure he's in that top 15 of the championship. And well, what have we got to catch you up on? I mean, the one thing really, drivers, is Juan Manuel Correa's contract is up. Now, he's got a development point here as well. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, basically, he's got up to a 53 rated driver now. The thing with him is that he's already old, relatively speaking. He's probably young enough to be my child. But anyway, he's 23. He's got average growth potential. There's no real future for him in terms of a race seat. So we're not going to offer him a new contract. Let's face it, he's not going anywhere else. And if we can't get somebody else, my dream would be to get Jack Crawford in. He is, I think, the most highly rated young American driver. If we can get him in as the reserve driver, give him some, almost most of K-Mag's FP1s, and just really start and get him ready to go. So when K-Mag's contract is up in 2 years' time, Jack Crawford can come in and do a good job for us. Now, Logan Sargeant also has a development point from last race. We will put that onto defending or overtake. Well, let's go to overtaking, get that up to 65, and then we can start work on defending. We should probably get cornering up a little bit as well. But he has high growth potential, so and he's younger, so you can kind of see the difference between him and Correa. Not just sort of the current ability, but moving forward as well. There's just a lot more potential in Sargeant and than there is in Correa. So that is that. Now, staff developments. Do we have anything? Not as of yet. Our race engineer Gary Gannon will be leaving at the end of his contract as well. Only 70 rated. I think I showed you there's F2 engineers that are higher rated than that, so we'll be making a change there. And Ed Reagan can stay for now. His contract is up next year. We'll sort of reassess him at that point. Now, in terms of facilities, not too much has happened. We are upgrading the tour center. That'll be done soon. My general philosophy here, because we don't have that much money, is that when things need to be refurbished, instead of refurbishing, I'll be upgrading. Because, for example, it would cost. It doesn't actually give a cost. Oh, it does say a cost there. So it's $2.5 million to refurbish or $7 million to upgrade. Now, rather than refurbish every year and a bit, I'd rather just upgrade, to be honest, and spend the extra money on that. So because of that, we'll just kind of wait, and we'll upgrade things a bit more slowly. The one thing I am tempted to do is the weather center, because that's $3 million. We might do that, because if we can get reliable weather forecasts coming in, then that could be the difference between pitting a lap earlier and jumping up 10-12 positions, or being a lap too late and losing a potential good result. So I think that is the one thing that maybe is worth doing, and everything else there will upgrade as and when we need to. And the car, as I've said before, we're not doing any more upgrades right now, because well, basically, there's no point. There's 4 or 5 races to go. What we will be looking to do is work on next season's car, and we've been doing such in if we go to current projects. We're just researching, basically. We've got one that need a chassis because we crashed all the time in Singapore. But yeah, researching front and rear wings, and then once they come in, I think we have to wait for the next R&D period or whatever it's called, and then we'll be looking to research some more. So hopefully next year's car will get us off to a bit of a flyer. So that is more or less everything to catch you up on. Let's have a look at the Suzuka track. It's only been sort of the 4 days. It's a back-to-back race. So overall, we're expecting a wet qualifying and a very wet race. that gives us a chance to either stuff things up or do very well. You can see the qualifying sectors there. Red is the first, green is the second, yellow is the third. It's a bit of a doubles back on itself track, so it can be a little bit confusing just to look at the map if you don't know what you're looking at. We can see there it's high speed, medium speed corners, and just the 2 traction zones really. So yeah, let's hope that our car attributes work to that medium and high speed corners and acceleration, which isn't necessarily always the strongest part of our cars. You can see their safety car numbers and whatnot, pit stop numbers, and the expected strategies is a 2-stop. And looks as though 2 sets of soft tyre, 2 set of soft tyre, 2-stop. Now, of course, if it's going to be wet, that doesn't matter quite so much, does it? And there's the compound performance as well. So let's go and have a look at what we can do in terms of performance targets. So if we've got to reach Q3, we should be reaching Q2. So we'll add both of those in. I feel like the difference I've found with the Haas too, I've got an offline save with Aston Martin just to help me learn the game and play while I watch Formula 1, basically. I feel like we need the money a lot more at Haas, so I mean, it's worth gambling with Aston Martin too, because it doesn't really matter if you don't get it. But yeah, I just find it very. So we need top 14 in qualifying. If we get a top 14 finish in this race, we'll get 800 grand as well. So let's go off to Japan and see what we can do here. So confirmation of the weather, light rain on Saturday. That doesn't necessarily mean for qualifying. It could be for FP3, but heavy rain, and it can only be for the race because it's the only thing to happen. So I'm going to go and do free practice. Hopefully we'll nail a setup for the 2 of them, and then we'll be back for qualifying. All right, now free practice is done. We didn't get any rain on the Saturday, so far, so it means qualifying is going to be interrupted by rain, you would imagine. If we have a look at how free practice went, FP1, it could have gone better. Actually, the whole thing could have gone better. K-Mag crashed out of the session after 16 laps, which isn't ideal, but we were 14th and 15th, which obviously, yeah, as I say, isn't great. There are some penalties, as you can see, for some of the guys at the front and the guys that are around where we usually are. FP2, we had 14th and 16th, although Magnussen was only on a medium tyre for this one. And then FP3, now we had 15th and 17th. Now, one caveat is that both gearboxes are essentially dead. We're going to switch them in for qualifying now, the new ones. I'm not sure if we need to take penalties or not. I didn't look that far ahead. We'll go and have a look now. You can see both gearboxes are just absolutely stuffed. So no, we do have another one, so Sargeant won't need a penalty. And this will hopefully be the gearbox that gets us to the end. We have a new ERS as well that we can use, so let's stick that on the car as well. And let's go and check on K-Mag now. All parts fitted. So again, you can see the gearbox absolutely stuffed, but he is going to need a new one to get into the end. So that'll be, what, a 5-place grid penalty for K-Mag. But again, it should get into the end. And you know what? In a wet race, 5 places is probably a good time to take it, isn't it? And he is all good to go. There you can see the setups for the cars are both fairly good. So yeah, let's go out there and we'll see where we qualify. Okay, so Q1 about to get underway. Our Haas is coming out on the track. We're wasting no time. We don't know exactly when the rain is coming. Are we expecting any this session? Not necessarily. But anyway, we've got to try and get out of this session. Let's hope the new gearbox and whatnot makes a big difference. Okay, so we are coming around, final lap in Q1. Thankfully, we get there with a little bit of time to spare. Sargeant is currently the driver at risk. Magnussen is a little ways up there in 10th. So the new gearbox particularly, I think, has made a difference. And we've got a lock-up from not Sargeant. Okay, I thought that was Sargeant for a moment there. It had locked up, but that's all fine. Let's have a look at some of our sector times here and see what we can do. So Gasly is out. So he's not going to be overtaking us. Now, is that going to affect us in a way where we need to lift? I mean, almost certainly, because we're the last car on track at turn 11. So that's the hairpin, I think. It should affect everybody equally. I don't know. Do we see yellow flags here somewhere? This is turn 11, I'm pretty sure. There he is there. K-Mag's done a green first sector. Sargeant only a yellow, so he hasn't gone faster. But Vettel is already out. We've got the 2 Williams, which it should be faster than. So I think we're going to be okay here. Gasly was probably the one that could have got us. And we're just waiting on Stroll, who's done 2 yellows, a green final sector. Albon is unlikely, isn't he, to jump up? I think Sargent's gotten through here, and it's possibly thanks to Gasly sticking it in the wall. So good job. Good job. So there we go. K-Mag in 10th in the end, and Sargeant goes down there in 15th. So I mean, it's important to get through there because we don't know when the rain is coming. Hopefully for the next one, and maybe we can get Sargeant a little bit further along than maybe he would otherwise expect to be. We'll go out on used softs because really the thing is, if it's going to rain, it doesn't matter what sort of soft tyre we're on. If we get a lap in for anybody else, we'll still be faster. Okay, so we are coming around. We've got Sargeant and Magnussen now. I think we're going to go on board with K-Mag here. Sargeant is in 14th just now. Now, he got horribly blocked on his lap by Tsunoda, but that doesn't, I don't think, change too much for him. Magnussen, on the other hand, driver at risk. If he can get through, it still hasn't rained, so it's, unless the weather center is really bad, it means it's certainly going to rain for Q3. And we might be able to get, you know, a lap in maybe at a good time, and you know, could we dare dream of maybe getting K-Mag in the front row in qualifying and only starting 6th, 7th or so with a penalty. Time will tell on that front. Of course, Leclerc and Perez have penalties as well, as both our drivers have done a green first sector. Guan Yu Zhou, who's the man behind Magnussen currently, has done 2 green sectors. So that's slightly concerning, perhaps. But we'll back K-Mag to get the job done here. Tsunoda's done 2 yellows, so he's unlikely to go any faster. So if Sargeant can... I mean, the thing with Sargeant is that if he can get up as high as he can, Guan Yu Zhou has not got ahead of Magnussen, so that's probably going to mean Magnussen's okay. As Ricciardo goes ahead of Norris, is Norris going to jump up? Another green sector for Sargeant. Can he maybe nick one of the McLarens? It'll be a big ask for him. So one of our cars is getting out. It's either Sargeant or K-Mag. And that was quite a lift through there by K-Mag. Not sure what that was all about. Let's see what time Sargeant has done. Of course, he's ahead on the road. Sargeant stays 14th. So he is eliminated. What can K-Mag do? It doesn't matter because he's through. But can he go up a little bit higher? No, he can't. So confirmation there of Sargeant being eliminated 14th. Now he will probably start a bit higher than that. Or maybe not, because he's already ahead of the 2 Alpha Tauris, and it depends what sort of penalties both Leclerc and Verstappen have. That's not showing Magnussen getting a grid penalty right now, so that's interesting. So the rain has indeed come. We are going to be going straight out. We're going to be doing 3 laps, consecutive laps. And yeah, we'll see where the conditions go from there. So it's possibly going to be a bit of a strange session. K-Mag is just coming around to start his first flying lap. I imagine everybody's going to be doing something similar. There's no point in the wet doing one quick lap because you don't know when the best conditions are going to be. The track is drying though. Now I'm going to keep an eye on that. If there's a window, no, it's getting wet again. If there's a window where we could maybe do a lap on a soft tyre, it would definitely be worth doing. But I think the rain, it's just raining enough to make that probably not likely. Magnussen is going to get held up by Verstappen here. He got out of his way fairly quickly there. This will be his 3rd of 3 flying laps. And then we should be able to come in, get another set of tyres on and go for one final sort of sprint lap. But it's 10th as things stand right now. Alright, so Magnussen is coming around to start this final lap. The track is as wet as it's been. I don't know that this is going to happen for us here. It's nobody's going faster, so I suspect this is going to be the grid, and hopefully K-Mag doesn't get a penalty. I don't quite understand what's happening there. Maybe it's just not quite shown it, but yeah, no one's going faster here. So there we go, confirmation of the grid. Leclerc and Verstappen 1st and 2nd, though they both have penalties, so it'll probably be still Ferrari and Red Bull, just Sainz and Perez, the 2 Mercedes, the 2 Alpines, Bottas, and potentially us. I don't know if he's actually going to get that penalty or not. Okay, so he is starting 9th, which is, yeah, so he hasn't got the penalty. That's interesting. I wonder if we should have already taken the penalty when we got the gearbox. Oh, no, I can't remember if I just bought it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so the rain comes towards the end of the race. So it's going to be, it looks like an intermediate period and then onto the full wets till the end. So it's going to be, in that case, a 2-stop. The issue is, can we get to the rain on a soft? And that is debatable, isn't it? We're going to want to start on a medium. We're going to want to start on a medium. Try and get ourselves to the rain there somewhere. And then it's going to be stop for a wet. possibly around there somewhere. So it's an annoying 10-lap thing, but we're going to lose too much time, I think, if we don't come in and stop for an intermediate. If we go straight to a wet, well, you know, the rain may not come as expected, or yeah, I mean, I just don't think it's worth the risk. I think even best case scenario, you're going to find yourself just kind of put out a little bit by the. You're going to lose time on the wet anyway. I think you're probably worthwhile just making the extra stop. So yeah, there we go. That's the strategies. Let's see if we can score some points here. Okay, welcome back. The Japanese Grand Prix about to get underway. Now, one thing I didn't see is where Verstappen and Leclerc are starting. We'll get a look at that in just a second here. They are... Leclerc's 11th, Verstappen's only 4th, so there wasn't major penalties for either of them. There's some soft tyres there, which are surely not going to get... Everybody's on a soft tyre. Now, they're surely not going to get to the rain, are they? Hopefully our weather center hasn't let us down here. We've got something resembling a decent forecast, and if that's the case, well, then we could be in for a very nice result here indeed. If everybody has to stop. Sargeant's got himself ahead of Norris, and we're holding position here. Now, I would fully expect Leclerc to come past us at some point in the near future, but I think that's absolutely fine. We've just got to keep it on the track, which has not always been the easiest thing for our guys. And yeah, I mean, almost was just wait for the rain, or at least for the first stop anyway.
Okay, we're still okay.
We can kind of burn through at the start here, because when it's wet, it's not going to be as important. But we might just do the one lap. It's not the easiest track to pass on outside of the front straight anyway. And well, yeah, I wonder a little bit with a tyre disadvantage if maybe just to hold position we're better off burning through and then going off. Maybe it's an interesting line K-Mag's taken through 190R there, but anyway, 180R, 190R, 2. What is that corner? It's something R. It's the angle of the corner, but I can't remember what the angle of it is now. 120, 220, I don't know. One for the comments. I'll Google it afterwards. And well, here we go. It looks as though we are holding position. Now, there's nowhere else to really overtake, and I suspect that, as I say, Leclerc's going to come past us at some point anyway. If we beat him, it's not going to be on pace. It'll be through strategy. So we'll try and use the strategy and save some errs for later, and I think we'll go off board, because this race really is about us just, like I say, trying to hold position, not lose too much time. And with DRS now to be enabled.
DRS is enabled, DRS is enabled.
As long as we're in a DRS train, which both our guys are, although Sargeant is in danger of losing the back of Ricciardo, then this should be okay for us. It was about lap 21, wasn't it? They were expecting the rain. Leclerc has got Magnussen again. That's absolutely fine. The issue perhaps is that Magnussen has lost the back of him, so Magnussen might go backwards a little bit here, which isn't great. But again, I mean, we're talking about them potentially doing either an extra pit stop or... Yeah, I mean, their tyres are about as worn as ours are. Maybe they are going to be able to get to the rain. It depends when the rain comes, doesn't it? Maybe we need to... Maybe we just need to be a little bit cautious here. I think if I had complete confidence in our weather facilities, then that would be one thing. Now, there's a yellow flag out there. As Magnussen loses another position. Leclerc has had a spin. That was silly, wasn't it, Charles? But he still stayed in 8th somehow. Latifi's running wide, but that's just par for the course, really, isn't it? And, I mean, Sainz has massive pace out in front compared to everybody else. Sainz Sainz. Leclerc is flying as well, it looks like. Just think on this particular situation, it was better to play it safe. As Sargeant... Oh, and K-Mag has spun. Keep it out of the wall, K-Mag. What have you done? Has he got it on the curb on the way in? No, he's just dropped it halfway through. Now, that's going to have damaged his tyres as well. Boys in the pit aren't happy with him. And he stays 10th. But that is not what we needed from you, K-Mag. Worryingly, perhaps. And we've got a safety car. What's happened there? DRS is disabled. Now,
Safety
how
car,
far
safety
away
car.
is this rain? That's the question, isn't it?
Need to be plus on the delta time.
Let's just have a quick look. Are we expecting the safety car to last until the rain? And that's a few laps, isn't it? If we say 3 laps, 1, 2, oh, it's right there. Do we gamble? The issue is that if we gamble and we're wrong, are we going to lose enough time when everybody banked up? I don't think we are. I think we're going to take a massive gamble here that the weather center is correct, that the rain is coming, and that we can stop for intermediates, be behind the safety car, and find ourselves first and second with a massive, massive gap to the rest of the field. And if it goes wrong, I'm going to look like an absolute muppet. So everybody is pitting. Now, what are they pitting for? What are they pitting for? Tyres, I know, but what sort of tyres? Oh, this is a big risk, isn't it? But as things stand, we're out of the points anyway. Everybody is coming in. Everybody's double stacking, so I wonder if everybody's doing the same. No, they're coming out of mediums, which is ridiculous. This rain better come. If the rain doesn't come, I will be very, very disappointed. Here we go. Intermediate tyres. Can you imagine? Crofty would be losing his crap right now. Haas is going out on intermediates. It's dry. It's only a 20% chance of rain in the next minute. But surely, if we look at... So we come out 11th for Magnussen and 14th for Stroll, for Sargeant. Rain is starting. Go on. We got the weather right. This is huge. This is huge. Everybody is going to have to come into the pits. And we have, well, we've called that right. The people in the weather center deserve a big, big Christmas bonus because the safety car is coming in. And we have got ourselves wet tires. The rest of the field is on dry. And the rain has come in right on time, as far as we're concerned. A little bit early compared to what the weather center said. But there is everybody in the pits. And we have got ourselves, the track is now dry, but it's going to get wet. It's still raining. And, of course, those in front of us, now they're all going onto the wets. So this may come back and haunt us yet. So let's push. But we're not expecting that wet of a track for a little while yet. But we are going to have to sort of get up these 20-odd seconds here. We jump on board. We need to...
All the pushing you can get.
Yeah, we need to get this done pretty quickly, please, guys. If you can, please.
Margin, try to increase the pace a little bit.
There we go.
We'll go to high fuel
So
now.
Sargeant has... Yeah, see, this is closing the gap, though, to those behind us. Come on, down the straight. Get them both down the straight. We might as well deploy now and get... We need... This is our go time, isn't it? Come on. Oh, this is annoying me. You can go down the inside there. Come on, mate.
Okay, good job, okay, that's one.
So they've come into the pits. All right. What sort of a gap are we looking at? Hamilton is not that far behind. We needed to go there, didn't we? Magnussen now is a little bit... And the track is wet. Is it expected to stay wet? Oh, that is... So the weather center is maybe... let us... We should have gone straight... If we'd gone straight to the wet, we would have absolutely nailed it. But as it turns out, we've got it ever so slightly wrong. Well, I almost look like a genius. Story of my life. So here we go. K-Mag comes in. Where are we going to come out here? We've come out 5th. Okay, so we've come out 5th and 8th. So that is not horrible. We don't want to deploy anymore. Although we've used up all the battery anyway. There's anybody out there on intermediates? There are some out there on intermediates, but it's absolutely tipping it down. Leclerc's had a spin. Bottas, what's Bottas on? He's on a wet. Oh, so he's sort of battling with Magnussen. Let's go jump on board for that. And we've got Vettel up there as well. What sort of tyre is Vettel on? We might just need to be a little bit careful on the tyres, because to sort of not stop from now to the end is marginal. So we do just need to be a little bit careful here. But, would you go away, please, Valtteri? Unbelievable, mate. All right. Can we get this done, please, K-Mag? Vettel is clearly holding everybody up. Now, the Aston Martin is not a quick car. So if we can we just deploy and get this done?
Mode push.
Cover that.
Come on, K-Mag. Just get this done, mate. Get past Vettel, drive off into the distance. Of course, there's no DRS in the wet. So if we can get it done, then, well, Vettel will hopefully hold up a train. Come on, this is that time. This is your time, K-Mag. This is your time. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Is Sargeant okay? Sargeant is fine. Come on, K-Mag. Come on, K-Mag. Round the outside. He hangs it out there. Oh, and he gets it done. And that should be P3. And are we going to need to add another trophy to the memorabilia room here? Is he far enough ahead? Is Vettel going to try? Oh, is Vettel coming back at us? This is not ideal. This is not ideal. Hang it in there, K-Mag. Hang it in there. He's got the inside. Surely, surely, surely. And there we go. Job done. Sargeant's still stuck behind Vettel. He's right behind him, though. I wonder if we use a bit of extra petrol down the front straight, not lifting, coasting. Can we get a move done? Oh, he's locked up. Oh, he's in the hole.
Let's have a look. Now just focus on the Haas. That crash is terrible news for the team.
It is terrible news for the team, Crofty. It's absolutely devastating news for the team. He's back to... Yes, you should be groaning, K-Mag. What have we got to do? We need a new front wing, minor underfloor damage as well. And this is absolutely painful. I mean, the one thing we know is that he's got good pace. Sargeant's coming down the straight, so he's going to come out. Is he ahead of Vettel? No, just behind Vettel in 11th.
4 laps to go.
Four laps to go. We'll double speed it. And let's see. I mean, we're catching Norris at a second a lap. Sargeant doing an okay job so far, still keeping Ocon behind him. And of course, the no DRS is going to help as well. We can just see, can't we, in front there, the battle between Ocon and Sargeant. And he should get that petrol back. That shouldn't be a problem. In the wet, obviously, you use less. We might even push Magnussen on. Can he get one up the inside of Norris here into 180R? It must be 180R.
To save some fuel because we're not going to finish.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine, Logan. Can we get this done? Can we get this done? Oh, it's tough. Can we get good traction out of the final corner? The fresher wets. And that should be move done.
You're doing a good job.
All right, and let's have a look at last lap time. 142.4 compared to 143.4 to Ocon in front. So again, it's a second a lap, 3 laps to go, and we're 2 and a bit seconds behind. So this is potentially still on for 7th and 8th. And one thing we won't be doing is if Ocon is behind Sargeant, we will not be asking Sargeant to let Magnussen pass. There's no point because it's 15 seconds up the road then to Hamilton. I am slightly concerned that Sargeant's not going to get there. But I'd feel a little bit better if it would just go back to 0. It should be fine, but I've said that in Spain, didn't I? And K-Mag ran out. And we've got why? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! We've got cars coming in the pits for intermediate tires. Why are you doing that with 2 laps to go? And it's wet again now anyway. So suddenly Sargeant is in 5th, K-Mag is in 7th. Okay, let's just go to conserve. Let's just get Sargeant back where he needs to be. Was there damage? I wonder if they came together.
Trying to do some lifting coast.
Alright, so we're back to 0. We're almost there. And surely... Come on. There we go. That's all I wanted to see. Just a nice little positive.
No more lifting coast.
K-Mag is right there now as well. And can we get 5th and 6th, which would be a best result for the team. But of course, it could have been 3rd and 5th, or no, 3rd and 6th, wouldn't it? Which would have been magnificent. Can K-Mag get the job done down the back straight? Not as of yet. And we're coming around to start the final lap. Come on, Kevin. Oh, Ocon's coming to the pits. So are there tyres? They're coming in for intermediates. I don't understand what they're doing. Alright, so K-Mag, let's just... don't fight your teammate. Verstappen has won the race. We don't have anything to worry about from behind, do we? Norris is a second back.
Need to back off.
And we just need to do a little bit of formation flying now. We'll go off board and enjoy it. As the Haas's in 5th and 6th in a Japanese Grand Prix that started with us struggling to make the top 15 in any of the free practice sessions. New gearboxes, bit of rain. K-Mag hits the wall. And Ricciardo in 4th. So the McLarens are coming on very strong towards the end of the season. And hopefully K-Mag will hold position here like I told him to. You don't deserve more points, mate. You could have had a podium. Bottas has indeed finished 3rd, and we had Bottas covered. So there we go. Into the final chicane. Well done, Haasers. The 2 butt cheeks of Haas, you could say, come across. It's 5th and 6th. It's the best team result we've had this season. Well done, everybody. And a career best finish for Sargeant as well. So confirmation, Sargeant up 9 to finish 5th, and Magnussen up 3 to finish 6th. But like I say, he should have been higher. He just should have been. But good points for the team. 18th. 18, I should say. Yeah, 18 points, which is excellent. And if we go and have a look at the Drivers' Championship, that means that K-Mag stays 9th, though only a point behind Alonso and Magnussen. Oh, no, that is Magnussen. And Sargeant has moved up into 15th. Also, he stayed in 15th, but he's moved up. Well, Tsunoda's not catching him now, is he? And if we go and have a look at the constructors, Alfa Romeo go above Alpine. And, well, could we catch Alpine? It's unlikely. We're certainly not going to drop to 7th now. What's that? 39 points back to AlphaTauri. They are not getting that with 4 races to go. And, all right, so we can see here K-Mag has got himself a development point. We'll be putting that straight into braking. And, well, Sargeant and Correa are there as well. Guys, if you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. A wonderful result for the team. That could have been a wonderful result for both drivers, but a career best for Sargeant and a career standard for Magnussen. See you in Austin.